Santa is not who I thought he was. The sun will come out in the 24-hour readathon. Merry Bookmas! If you're new here, hi. My name's Alexandria, short for Alexandria Loves Books. I've been doing a lot of reading this year, and my goal is to read 100 books in 2024. The most amount of books I'll have ever read in a year. But I'm 10 books away, and according to Goodreads, I'm 2 books behind. So, I thought, how can I catch up and reach my goal? And then, it hit me. 24-hour readathon! It's 7 p.m. I'm finally done with work and all the things I had to get done today. Children are screaming in the hallway, and it seems like the perfect time to start a 24-hour readathon, don't you? Do you think so? This will be the first time I start a 24-hour readathon at night. And how I feel is how that child is screaming. I don't know if this is a better strategy for me, starting at night, or if really I'm dooming myself from the beginning, but here we are. The way I'm gonna do it this time, I'm gonna start the timer, and I'm not going to stop it. And I am not gonna do anything else but read. If I happen to fall asleep, then it happens, and as soon as I wake up, as long as we're still, the 24-hour clock is still going, I'm gonna have to keep reading. I'm currently in the middle of JoJo's memoir, Over the Influence. I'm listening to the audiobook, and I'm in the middle of chapter 16. When I'm eating, making food, going to the bathroom, showering, changing, doing something where I can't physically be reading, I will be listening to this audiobook, and hopefully we'll finish it today. I have about 3 hours left. It is December 6th, so I have my December TBR, but I also have my November TBR, just because November didn't happen as planned. So I'm gonna be trying to focus on these 2 TBRs. However, it's Bookmas, so we're starting with the holiday romance. First up, the Merriest Misters. Patrick and Quinn, they've been married for a year, but the passion and love is fizzling out, and the dedication. For my fellow queer folk who love Christmas, may we continue to make the Yuletide as gay as possible. Patrick accidentally kills Santa thinking he's a burglar, and so Patrick and Quinn have to save Christmas by assuming the roles of Santa and the first ever Merriest Mister. Otherwise, Christmas will be canceled permanently. So, page 1, chapter 1, you better not pout, Quinn's POV. Let's start this thing. Santa is cussing. Santa! Santa is not who I thought he was. Time for a check-in. We are about 4 hours in, 20 hours to go. I listened to a bit of Over the Influence as I cooked dinner, and by that I mean prepped it to go in the oven and microwave. And so I'm currently on chapter 18, page 252, and I am 140 pages and 26 chapters into the Merriest Misters. So far, I'm really enjoying this book. I really care for Patrick and Quinn. We get a little bit of the then and now timeline from like how their relationship started back in college to like then now, the present timeline when they're having some marital relational issues. And the whole like Christmas Santa situation is kind of crazy. This really is giving like the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen when he like, but I don't even know how he like knocks out Santa on the roof and then he has to become Santa. That's really what this is giving. So we're already in the North Pole right now, and we're learning about the magic and how things are run. It's really interesting and just really funny and silly and goofy. I am looking forward to getting more into like the romance and to like how they kind of fix and heal and grow their relationship to be a little more healthy and more what they both need and want and deserve. Because it's like we get a hint of like that, and then it's like, oh, but you have Santa duties. I'm 222 pages in on chapter 41. We have 17 hours left. It's around 2 a.m. My reading pace is definitely, it's been slow this entire time. I think because I started after a long day of busyness. I just already was starting from a tired place. I just wanted to say at this point in the story, I'm picking up on what I think like the third act conflict is gonna be, or at least what it's gonna be related to. I also think it's interesting that since we've gotten like before or like then and now timeline, we actually learn about some issues that happened that were started kind of a while ago. And I'm really like reading them, I'm kind of startled because I'm like, wait, this isn't good. They need to fix and heal this. Are they gonna talk about it? Like, are they actually gonna resolve these issues? I don't know. Let's keep on reading and find out what happens. Well, I'll find out what happens, you won't. I can't tell you that. You have to read it for yourself, silly. Okay, I'm up. Also, they're from New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. It's 3:56 a.m. It's almost 4:45 a.m. We have like 14 hours left. I don't know. I'm exhausted. So exhausted. I've been up for 22 hours. I need to stay up for at least 14 more. I'm like 5 chapters into Killer Instinct. My game plan, because I'm really struggling to fight off exhaustion. I'm gonna go take a shower. And then that will wake me up. I hope. And I'll listen to my audiobook as I shower. It's 5:17 a.m. I can't fight off my exhaustion. As I was reading Killer Instinct, my eyes while I was sitting just like shut for 3 minutes straight. I'm on page 50 right now. I think this is gonna be really hard to read, so I think my new strategy is I'm gonna take a break from this. I'll get back to it though. I'm gonna read Heartstopper Volume 4. It's a graphic novel, and I'm already invested, and I even already know what happens because I've watched the show. So it should be an easy read. It should keep me occupied for at least an hour, but probably more, probably like an hour and a half. That'll get me to sunrise. That should get me to about 12 hours in, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. Got that way, get out right now. It's the end of you and me. It's too late, and I can't wait for you to be gone. Hello, world. This earth says hello. That's not the sun, that's the earth. The sun says hello. Sunrise. Happy sunrise. The sun will come out in the 24-hour readathon. Bet your bottom dollar that the 24-hour readathon, there'll be sun. 12-hour check-in. I watched the sunrise. That's the first time I've watched the sunrise in years. That was so fun. I finished The Merriest Misters. This is the first book that I've read cover to cover. I overall really enjoyed this book. There were a few moments that I was like, I don't know. But once I finished it, I got to the point where I was like, I love this. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. At one point it was a 3.5, but I think it's a 4. I really enjoyed Patrick and Quinn's love for each other. It was so beautiful and it made me feel so deeply, and especially during like the conflict near like the last, I don't even know, 50 or so pages, maybe more, 100 and so pages, I don't know. I cried and was like, oh, they love each other so much, and I love that. And I really enjoyed how I feel like this relationship was so real. As I mentioned, there's the then and now timeline, and we also see their relationship issues. And so many romances, even though the characters have flaws and whatnot, for some reason this just felt more real than like a traditional or like a normal romance where like the couple like meets, falls in love for the first time, gets together, versus like this where they're already together at the beginning and having issues, and then we're like learning, they like learn so much about themselves and each other and about like the people in their lives, and it's just a really beautiful story and I really enjoyed it. And it was also so much fun, the aspect of like learning about the North Pole and Pat becoming Santa Claus and having to figure that out. So I really recommend this book. I think in the middle of chapter 16 of Over the Influence when I started this, and I'm now in the middle of chapter 20, I think. So I'm almost done with this one. I started Killer Instinct. This is the second book in the Natural series. This is the YA Criminal Minds series. It's the teenagers with special abilities that are recruited by the FBI to solve cold cases, specifically like with serial killers. And so each of these teenagers have like their profiles or lie detectors or like super, I don't know, knowledge. I don't know. The second book has kind of a new character has been introduced, and I don't like them. There's gonna be, I believe, like a new case in this. So I'm 50 pages into this book. I'm really enjoying it so far, but I just got so exhausted where I could not keep reading. And so I was like, okay, pause. As I mentioned, started volume 4 of Heartstopper, and I'm almost done. I am on page 287 of like 300 something. But we're gonna finish this quickly. I'm having a really good time. I was thinking about taking a nap just because I woke up 7 a.m. yesterday and now it's 7 a.m. today, and I think I don't want to be hurting and damaging my body by like depriving it of sleep. But right now I'm feeling somewhat okay, so I'm just gonna keep sitting here with the sun and reading Heartstopper and Killer Instinct. And if I feel the need, I might take like a 1 to 2 hour nap. My eyes keep closing. Good morning. We have about 8 hours left, about 270 pages left of Killer Instinct. So let's finish this thing and start a new book. I don't know if I'll be able to finish another one, but let's go for it, folks. Let's go for it. We have 5.5 hours left. We are almost done, somewhat. So let's talk about the books we finished. I finished volume 4 of Heartstopper. I adored it. I love them so much. I love this story. I love their relationship. I love the friendship. I love the family. I love all the plots, the subplots. It's just so sweet and heartwarming. I don't know how to rate this. I think maybe a 4-star. The other ones I rated 5, I believe. But something I didn't like about this, which they did this in the show and I didn't realize it was because of how it was done in here, was that they like skipped timelines where it was like something was happening in, I don't even really know, August or September, and then it'd be like, okay, it's New Year's Eve now. oh, and here's what you missed. Back in September, this happened, and then in October, this happened, and in November, this happened. And it was like, in the show, it really pissed me off because I was like, why are you just telling me what happened? Like, I want to watch it happen. But then reading this, the book, it's written the same exact way of like the time jump and then like the journal entries that explain what happened. I didn't really love that way of telling the story, so 4 stars. And then I also finished the audiobook of Over the Influence, Joanna Jojo Levesque's memoir. I don't rate memoirs anymore. I used to, but then I realized like I didn't even know what I was basing it off of. And then it was like, but I'm not even basing it really off of anything. It's just like their life, and like that's not who am I to judge how their life played out or like their life story or like, I don't know. But I really enjoyed this though. It was really insightful and interesting to hear about all of the things that she went through with her bad contract when she signed a contract when she was like what, 12, 14, something like that, and they screwed her over, and her struggle with the music industry, but also growing up and with both of her parents being addicts, and that struggle with both of those relationships for her, growing up her relationships, and then hearing also about her being on Broadway, which I followed when that was happening, and it was so amazing. Honestly, I really enjoy memoirs. I feel like I am craving memoirs more often, and I highly recommend this one. And then currently I'm on page 228 of Killer Instinct, chapter 30. Can I just say the woman in chapter 32 is crazy. And the fact that there's like actually people in the world that are like her scares me. I always want to film my reactions, but I never know when the twists are gonna happen. But twist just did. Twist just done did. A twist happened. The romance in this, it's such a small subplot, and it's like a love triangle. I know who I want her to be with, but I just need there to be more scenes about her connections with the guys. Wait, who is this? No, oh my gosh. Really? Oh, she's smart. No! No! Oh, never mind. It was such a good plan, but I don't think it's gonna work. Teenagers. Why do you get yourself in these situations? What? How? Who? When? Why? Wait, where did he go? He was right there. Yes, 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 yes. And with that, the 24-hour readathon is over. I am so impressed with myself. I'm also so delirious because I've technically basically been up for 36 hours and I just had like a 1-hour nap. I read for 23 out of 24 of those hours. Only took that one nap from like 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and I got back to it. So recap, the first book I read fully cover to cover was The Merriest Misters by Timothy Janofsky. I believe I rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. And then I had already been, I think over halfway into the audiobook of Over the Influence, JoJo's memoir. And so I listened to the rest of the audiobook. Did not give it a rating, but absolutely loved it. I think then I picked up Killer Instinct and I read 50 pages, but was so exhausted. So I took a break and read volume 4 of Heartstopper. And as I said, I finished this, loved it, and gave it 4 stars. And then after that, sunrise and having my cute little read of Heartstopper, I felt more awake and alive to keep reading Killer Instinct. So then I finished this. I rated this 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed the series. It's very enjoyable. I love the twists and turns. I really like this plotline of the second book. So we're following after what happens in the first book, and then we're following a new serial killer case, and this one heavily revolves around Dean and his past and his backstory, and so that was really interesting to get into because like the first book had a lot of Cassie's background and things that had to do with her with that case, and so then this one was really cool to just have it be a little bit more focused on Dean and his situation and his life. And then I think I had about like 2.5 hours left, and I was debating like, do I try to finish one of the books that I'm in the middle of still, or do I want to start a new one? And I was like, for my brain, I just want a cute, fun rom-com. And so I picked up Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. This is the 3rd book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. It came out like a month ago, and so I'm really excited to read this. I am on page 121. So I'm a little over a third of the way through, which I'm happy about. So I think like literally 300 pages. This one is Teddy and Gus's story. I'm so excited. I'm already eating it up. So basically, this is single dad trope. And we know Teddy from, she's Emmy's best friend, and then Gus is Emmy's oldest brother. Over the summer, Riley, Gus's daughter, her mom, Cam, is away for the summer on like a business trip thing. And so usually they have a great co-parenting schedule, but for the summer, it's just Gus, and he's just overworked with dealing with the ranch and everything. So he ends up hiring Teddy to help watch Riley. And so it's like kind of nanny trope as well. It's also enemies to lovers. Gus and Teddy can't stand each other. They're always like bickering. That's all I know so far. I know that there's chemistry. That's for sure. I was hoping to have completed 5 to 6 books. That's usually about, I think, how many books I read for 25 readathons. That did not happen, but that's okay. We finished 4 books. This one I was already in the middle of, but the other 3 started, read cover to cover. And then we also got a good chunk of the way into a 5th book. So now I have read 94 books, and we just need 6 more books to complete this challenge on Goodreads this year. Wish me luck.